Hello, my Teaserking family. It's Thursday, and I think we all need to see what's going on. So we got here with gold and silver. So most normal people would be going, "What the fuck? Why is it going down? There's no silver. Why would I want to own it? Why would you want to own it? Why would they bring you these signals?" So silver's down 35 cents to 22.70. It was just 26 going to 35. JP Morgan's busy printing. Nobody's selling an ounce of silver. JP Morgan's selling paper derivatives, which drives the fake price down, which is why we don't listen to it. Gold's 1940. It's still in the 1900s, down 20. Again, JP Morgan writing derivatives. The motherfuckers are just printing fake prices on derivatives. They're selling ounces they don't have. Now we'll hear from Andrew McGuire tomorrow and try to get what's going on. But this is why we don't really worry about anything. Excuse me. A very strange bug I just saw on my wall. Sorry to get it. So this is why we don't pay attention to comex, because this is not real. All right. 22.73. Tomorrow I'm going to go buy another 20 ounces. It'll be 26.73. It's incredibly cheap. Well, Howard, you keep buying it. You keep saying it's going to go up. It's not going to go up. Here it goes down. If you think there's no demand pushing this down, this whole thing is fucking impossible, because this is not gaining value. This might be stronger than the yen and the euro and all the bullshit, but this itself isn't being inflated, going to zero. This is going to zero, which means gold and silver must go up. There's no way this is more valuable driving that price down. This is something else driving the price down, not, oh, gold or the dollar is worth more now, and so therefore making the other commodities is go to the grocery store. Did the Oreos go down in price? Did the Fritos go down in price? The Cheerios, the milk, the pop? No. I was just there yesterday. My broccoli is more expensive. My celery is more expensive. So this is an outright lie. This is absolute bullshit. This is about as phony as the, the Pittsburgh Baltimore or Pittsburgh Cleveland game where they do the laterals and it ends up in the end zone and the guy falls on it for a touchdown to cover the under. It's about the same. This is very phony. And so, again, this is paper versus physical, and this is paper. Paper can be manipulated because they can sell 1 million ounces, and that's it. I got a feeling this is the last stand for comex. I would imagine everybody's buying 22.72. I mean, the premium's like $4 now. The gold premium's $125. Why are there premiums? These guys are so stupid. It's unbelievable. There's premiums because the dealers don't know what to sell gold at. So they mark it up 125 and people still pay. That tells you that nothing makes sense. Why would comex be 1941, but you can't get it for less than 2100? So this is all fantasy land. So don't get upset at comex. I'm waiting for physical. I'm waiting for the Russians and the Chinese. Okay, we're having gold. It's all coming. We just need to be patient. Like when the Titanic hit the iceberg, it didn't sink right away. It took, I don't know what, 6, 7, 8 hours before it sunk. So keep that in mind. Didn't sink right away. Therefore, this comex isn't going away right away, but it is going away. We'll hear from Andrew McGuire, I'm sure, tomorrow, or Alistair, and talk about it. But we know all the dollars, all the fiats are paper, and they're all worthless. We know that. We know they're all worth zero, right? Just a little acting job by our little government trying to be like, oh yeah, no, it has a value. Look, it's got a 1 on it. It's got a 10 on it. It's got 100 on it. Okay, that's the fantasy, is that this can buy anything, because this is just bullshit. This is fucking paper. This is worthless. And why we can spend it to buy food and groceries is beyond me. I have no idea how this whole thing got started, but that's the medium of exchange. You need something. To go buy this, I need something, right? So I use this to buy that. And that's what's going to happen with gold and silver. As it goes up, we're going to use that to buy whatever the new medium of exchange is. And it won't be, I heard a video today that is about, shows exactly what's going on, that I just laughed at it. You'll read my comments. So one thing is, you have to realize that we know what's going on. We know this is bullshit, but it's manipulation. It's to make it, what are they doing? Making the dollar look better? Oh, look, gold price is down. It's all just algorithms. It's all bullshit. Okay, Howard, when's it going to stop? Well, of course, people will lose confidence in the dollar, mostly that. Hey, Andrew, how are you today? So, I mean, I'm going to run out and buy more silver. That's about all I can say. At this price, $22, like, nobody's selling it. It doesn't make sense. Nobody's selling it. This reminds me of the fake football lines when the line goes from 3 to 6 and there's no action on it. Well, I'm going to change the world. I don't have to run for government. We'll have gold, and we'll have our own country. And then we'll have gold-backed currency, and that'll be the country. Whoa. That was weird. I accidentally hit a help button, and I had a help screen on. Change the world time. It's our biggest value. Well, the reason gold, see, this is paper. This is worthless. You're Canadian, the British pound, the Swiss. It's all backed by nothing. It's all pieces of garbage. It's all worthless. This has no value. My shirt has more value than the dollar because it's an asset. So the gold has value because you can't print it, and it's accepted. It's what people demand, what people want. As long as there's demand, there's demand for this. Our Canadian Club 12-year, which you can't find anymore. There's demand for that. That's why this has a price. People want it, and they're willing to pay for it. People don't want this, and they're not willing. People are going to be dumping this. But everybody wants gold and silver. That's why I laugh when I see this price. I look at it as I should buy 100 ounces of silver tomorrow. I'll probably buy 20, but it's a joke. It's not fucking real. It's fucking fantasy. And I would recommend, Bobby, when you get on, I would just be buying and buying and buying a ton of it, because this is not going down. Even though this is down, this isn't real. And this will shoot up. The Russians have too much gold and silver, as well the Chinese and the Indians. They want the price up. They don't want the price down. The BIS, Bank of International Settlements. The central bank wants the price up. The only one that doesn't is the one that doesn't have any gold, the US, Canada, and England. So England's fucking around, and then JP Morgan's fucking around, selling, shorting derivatives. They're out of their fucking minds. Only morons would like be shorting gold at this time with this huge inflation. So I really, I'm hearing the Fed's going to lower interest rates. No, they're not. They're going to keep them going. Oh, inflation's going to go down. No, it isn't. You cannot lower inflation. You're printing money. You printed more money. It doesn't. What are you going to do? You've got to come out with new money, or you got to back it by gold. There's no other way to stop inflation. You've got $10 trillion out there, or $20 trillion, and a lot of it's held by European, China, Russia, Switzerland, France, Germany. Those are the lot who have the dollar. And now there's like 100 countries that don't want the dollar. Well, what they really want is to be able, if I'm in Switzerland, to buy British pounds with my Swiss francs. I don't want to have to buy the US dollar. That's what this is really about. As far as reserve currency, there is no reserve currency. The US is not a reserve currency, and there isn't one. Basically, it's just it's a fucking scam. It's a Ponzi scheme that you have to buy US dollars to buy other currencies. That's a fucking Ponzi. Madoff would be proud of it. He probably is the one that invented it. And basically, it's a joke. People on autopilot, when is it going up? Could be a long time. No, well, what's happening in August, the BRICS countries are going to announce the new dollar backed by gold. See, if nobody wants, let's say you're the Colorado Avalanche in the 90s, and you got Patrick Roy, and nobody wants Patrick Roy. So you can't trade him, okay? What do you do with him? You have to replace him. So you cut him because he's no good anymore, and you replace him. That's what you need to do. That's what the US dollar, it's no good anymore. So all these countries don't want to be sanctioned, don't want to be this high interest rates, the taxes, all the bullshit. They're all saying fuck you to the US. Biden doesn't know what day it is. He's clueless. I think the guy you see on TV is an actor. I don't really think the real Biden's even cognitive to what day it is. Don't fuck around with me on that. So I think what happens is nobody wants the dollar, but they're not prepared with anything else except gold and silver. And who's been buying all the gold and silver? China, India, Russia, the BRICS countries. So I think they'll just come out with gold and some dollar with gold on it, like gold backs this dollar. Then we replace the US dollar. So you don't need a currency. You don't need a yuan or a ruble or whatever. You just need gold. Gold is the only real currency that is your reserve. That's the reserve currency. It was good enough for the Romans. They had coins, gold and silver coins. That's what the Romans used. They didn't have that. But okay, you got an ounce, you want to buy the Canadian Club, but it's way too much in value. That's why you have money. So that's why you need the medium of exchange to sell your gold to get this, to buy that, to buy the Canadian Club. That's why you have this. So you will have this, but this should be backed by gold. The U.S. only way out is to back their dollar by gold, but they don't have any gold because they're too fucking stupid. They're all Keynesians who don't believe in gold. They'll just keep printing money, which is inflation. The more you print, the less it's worth, as we've said over and over and over. This is what's about to happen. This mess, I don't know what the fuck this mess is. Who the hell, I'm going to sell my silver options because, and then they're worried about the debt ceiling. Okay, first of all, You have to pay your debt back. All right. There's no freebie. It doesn't matter if you're a country or what. Now, what'll happen is they will reach the agreement on the last day. They'll make it look like Biden did something or the Republican or somebody's going to look what we did. We've got we were able to get the currency good. We're able to raise the debt ceiling. So now we can be $35 trillion in debt instead of $31 trillion in debt. And yes, it matters. You have to pay it off because who do you owe it to? Well, you owe it to other people. Somebody wants their money. I know Chase wants their credit card money. So don't give me that shit. Nobody wants it. All right. What are you saying, Andrew? What is it going to go up? Long time. August, probably. It's very, very soon. We have lots of gold in Canada up north in the mines. Yeah, but your central bank doesn't have any. Yes, you do in the mines. Newmont Mining is the biggest gold mining company in the world. It's in Canada. Vancouver, I think, or somewhere. Yes, I agree with that. But you don't. I'm talking your government, your central bank doesn't have an ounce of gold. Yes, your companies do, and I agree with that. And I buy a lot of Newmont Mining, but not now. I'm out of it because of all this shit happening. I bought physical instead. Carbon tax here in Canada raised gas prices. Don't you have a VAT too? Insurance deficit will never get paid down. Well, that's the whole beauty of this whole system. The government buys things that they don't have to pay back, and they keep printing money. The problem is, if you owe $1 billion and you print $1 billion, the $1 billion you printed is not worth the billion because you've devalued it because you printed so much. So now you got to print $2 billion to pay the $1 billion off. Now you owe $2 billion and on and on and on. So even if they printed $31 trillion, which would be mass inflation, you need to print more because the value of the dollar would be far less, and you'd have to actually print 35 trillion. That's what the Germans did in the 20s. And it went down the toilet, right? They were using the dollar as toilet paper because basically they couldn't, they were printing billions of dollars a day, and it just went to zero because nobody wanted it because they realized it has no value. That's coming here, Canada, England, all the euro, everybody's realizing that this is doo-doo paper. This is absolutely no value. And as they realize it, see, if I'm Warren Buffett and I got $2 billion of doo-doo paper, I was watching a movie, that's right. What do? I don't want the value to drop because then I'll have nothing. But I'm not smart enough to take the $2 billion and buy gold because I'm Warren Buffett. I'm an idiot. One of the stupidest people I've ever seen. He has no idea. See, because he sells himself as an investor, and he's not. He has clueless about gold. So if I was him, I would take my $2 billion and buy gold with it, buy silver with it. But he's not. So he's keeping it in paper, but he doesn't want the paper. He doesn't want this to go to zero, but it's going to zero. And then he's going to have $2 billion of crap. He can wipe his ass with. He can light cigars with it. Yes, that's where we bought our gold, Bank of Canada. Look at the interest on the deficit. Digital currency, artificial intelligence will never really happen. Digital currency will never happen. It's all bullshit. It's all blowing smoke and mirrors. Who's going to take digital currency? I'm not going to take it. Fuck them. I got my gold and silver. I'm never touching digital currency. Now that I'm back to work, is Harley now going to pay me in digital currency once it comes out? Or am I going to keep getting paid in my paycheck in bullshit US dollars? I don't know. But all I know is when I get my paycheck, it turns into gold and silver. I don't keep it in US dollars. That's really the key to it, is get the fuck out of the dollar. So when you do get your paycheck, you turn it into gold and silver as quick as you can. my store, he had an ounce or two of gold I could have bought. And I did buy the 20 ounces of silver. So that was bought. And, what can I say? I'll buy either one. But all this 22.74 tells me is good. I only have to pay $27 an ounce. I just paid $28.50 the other day, so I get to save $1.50 an ounce. I can buy a free ounce. That's what's happening. Yeah, see, nobody wants digital currency. It's like electric cars. You can't make enough electric cars. You need the fossil fuel to create it. It's just what the government does is just bullshit, right? So you must understand that it's bullshit. Just because they say something doesn't mean it's true, right? So we're going to go to war with China over Taiwan. That's never going to happen because Taiwan needs us to buy their goods and services. China doesn't want to fight us. They can't beat us. They're not going to have a war over it. And there's no reason to invade Taiwan. It's all bullshit. It'll never happen. This war with the Ukraine, this is U.S. versus Russia. Ukraine's just Zelensky got bought off like Putin, like Biden got bought off. Putin probably got bought off too to go to war. No accountability. Well, it's not that there's no accountability. It's the people in charge are never going to prosecute their own kind. So if I'm the judge and you get in trouble and you come in front of me, I'm going to drop the charges. Now, as my friend Andrew, he's innocent. That's the problem. So yes, there's on one hand, it's no accountability. On the other hand, the judges are so corrupt that look at Biden, the whole Biden family and the Biden kid Hunter. These guys are so guilty of criminal activity, but they won't get charged. So it's not there's no accountability. There's no damage. They won't prosecute them because it's all fixed. So we're watching a fixed football game, like we're watching gold and silver being fixed. It's going to blow up. It'll go to physical. All right, we know that. This is all bullshit. This is just like the referees are. What do we say here? Oh, they want LeBron to win. So the refs make all the calls for LeBron, right? And that's what happens, except for when it's just so one-sided that I'm sure they helped LeBron in all four of the games, but he couldn't beat Denver. Denver beat him despite the refs. So believe me, they wanted LeBron to win. Mahomes, they want Mahomes to win. They wanted Brady to win. They want Aaron Rodgers to win. And they call all the flags for him and everything else, but they can only do so much. Against Cincinnati 2 years ago, they wanted Mahomes to win, but there's nothing they could do. Last year, they gave Mahomes the fake bullshit hit out of bounds. It was fixed to give him the field goal. It was a terrible call, but it was a fixed call. And everybody kind of, oh, no, he wasn't out of bounds. He was out of bounds. If the guy had a hurt ankle, then he's Superman because he was able to run pretty fast on a high ankle sprain. Our fall for politicians, no accountability, Celtics. Hey, hi, Kenzie. I'm waiting for you whenever you're ready. Come. I look forward to it. For politicians, it's again, it's not that there's no accountability. It's that there's just nobody to prosecute them. They're all fixed. All right. So you want a game, Andrew. So let's look at what happened. I don't think there's a game tonight. Well, maybe I can give you a baseball game. Even that's hard because they only pitch 5-6 innings and that's it. So today, okay, we got Boston 8 over Miami. Miami was up 3-0. Boston finally played, and now it's 3-1. And you get to the point of psychology that Miami's sitting there going, we're up 3-0. They kind of relax. Boston now faces elimination, so they had to win game 2 and they lost. They had to win game 3 and they lost. Now, if you think they're going to win 4 straight, you're out of your mind. I like Miami here getting 8 points. Tell you the truth, I think they're the better team. I think they'll put them away tonight. Well, their backs were against the wall in game 2 and in game 3, and they lost. So I'm not saying that Boston's back against the wall is that strong. They had a good win, but now they're laying 8. I don't like the 8 points. They won as a dog. I knew there was something funny. When Miami was a favorite, I thought about Boston as a dog, right? Now they're a dog, and they played hard. Now they're back to -8. I don't like them at all. So that's my point on them. Let's go to baseball. Let's see what we can do for you in baseball. I got to go to the other site. I don't like scores and odds for baseball because it really doesn't give you the pitchers or the lineups. I like to look at the Tigers, and they had 6 guys hitting under 200. That's what I like. First, I'm going to talk football because I have this open. All right, so I'm looking at hello. I'm looking at running backs. Well, I was looking at quarterbacks too. Yeah, I take Miami in 8. I bet it very small, but they're off of a loss. Boston, I just don't see as a favorite doing anything. We'll get to baseball in a minute. So I'm looking at quarterbacks and running backs in the NFL. So I look at what happened last year. Josh Jacobs of Oakland, 1653, was the leading rusher. I believe he's the leading rusher per game. Derrick Henry, where is he? Nick Chubb is third, 1,500. Shaquille Barkley at 1,300. Then you got Jonathan Taylor of Indy, averaged 78 a game. And you got Justin Fields. What is wrong with this pitcher? Miami score app was the play. I'm not quite sure I'm following, Andrew. Take Miami. So Justin Fields puts up 1,100 yards, 76 yards a game. This is why you win 3 games, because your quarterback is terrible. I mean, for the quarterback to be leading the team in rushing, you're supposed to have a run. You're supposed to have a Nick Chubb or Barkley, not Fields. Miles Sanders is now on Carolina, 1,200 yards. That's going to hurt Philadelphia. Damon Pierce from Houston, I never heard of him, 72 yards. Kenneth Walker, Michigan State, 1,000 yards in 15 games. He averaged 70 yards a game. Now you've got Shaw, and you've got the kid from Georgia. I can't think of his name right now. So Walker's going to have company. So they'll probably end up getting rid of Walker because these two, McIntosh, these 2 guys are very good. Delvin Cook, still on Minnesota. We don't know where he's ending, 1,100 yards. McCafferty, 1,100 yards. Etnine at Jacksonville, 1,100 yards. Aaron Jones, 1,100 yards. Tyler Algier with Atlanta, 1,000 yards. And then here's Lamar in 12 games, gets 700 yards. And again, this is the problem. with teams like this. Baltimore, they don't win. You've got Chicago, can't win a game. Tony Pollard, Dallas, 1,000 yards. Jamal Williams was it Detroit, had 1,000 yards, and Detroit just lets him go. And then they get this guy in the draft. You got to understand Detroit, they never sign a guy to a second contract, except for like Stafford or Berry, who they had to. One guy, but here goes this guy, Jamal Williams, scores 17 touchdowns, and you let him go. Wow. I don't know what New Orleans is going to do with him. They've got Kamara, so I guess short yardage he'll be good. Stevenson with New England, 1,000 yards. Najee Harris with Pitt, 1,000. See, this Najee Harris is not like the Lions drafted the guy from Alabama. I'll be with you in a minute, Andrew, but I gave you Miami. We'll look for there might not even be a baseball game. We'll have to see if we get a good pitching matchup. James Conner, Arizona, who I liked from Pittsburgh, who played well on the Steelers, 780 yards. Here's Kamara, 900 yards, only 2 touchdowns, which is surprising. Latavius Murray of Buffalo, he doesn't do much. Elliott, 900 yards for Dallas. Mixon, 800 yards Cincinnati, but they're passing it. Khalil Herbert with Chicago, never heard of him, 700 yards. Moser with Miami, 900. Jeff Wilson with Miami, 860, but I'm doing it per game. That's why they're down there, 55 yards per game. Dante Foreman, 900 yards. Cordell Patterson of Atlanta, 695. Singletary with Houston, 800 yards, 50 yards a game, so it's nothing. Jalen Hurts, here's another problem with Philly, 760 yards. 50 yards a game running. That's way too much. Montgomery, Detroit signs. So Detroit lets up a 1,100-yard guy with 17 touchdowns for a guy who had 800 yards for the Bears and 5 touchdowns. If he's so good, why did Fields keep passing the ball or keep running with the ball? Why didn't he give the ball to Montgomery? Josh Allen, 700 yards, and look how they did. Daniel Jones, the Giants, 700 yards, 44 a game. Look how they did. Anyway, you're getting the point. New England, James Robinson, 400 yards, was their leading runner. Unbelievable. And Tampa's in trouble. Rashid White, 400 yards. Anyway, so let's go to quarterbacks. And this is by touchdowns. Now, I'm going to break down exactly why I analyze, so you guys get a little bit insight into the professor. Who leads the lead? Mahomes, 41 touchdowns, 12 picks. Josh Allen, 35-14, not bad. Joe Burrow, 35-12. And Geno Smith, the Seattle, 30-11. Those are the only quarterbacks to get over 30 yards. This is a passing league. Yet most of these guys suck, which is my point. Kirk Cousins, 29 touchdowns, 14 picks. Josh Allen, 35-14. That's way too many picks. Then you get Jared Goff, Detroit, not bad, 29 and only 7. Aaron Rodgers, 26-12. Now you know why Green Bay was pretty weak. Brady was 25-9, not enough touchdowns. You need more in the 30s. Tug Tagliabue, 25-8. Justin Herbert, San Diego, 25-10. Trevor Lawrence, 25-8. Derek Carr, 24-14. A lot of interceptions. Now, here's why I don't like Prescott. Prescott, 23 touchdowns, 15 picks. You've got to be fucking kidding me. 23-15. This is why Dallas will never win. He throws too many interceptions. This is my point. This is why Derek Carr got traded. This is why Herbert hurt San Diego. And this is why I get all over Kirk Cousins, 29-14. Josh Allen, 35-14. Now, this is why I get all over these guys. Too many interceptions. Jalen Hurts, 22-6, only 22 pass touchdowns. And he had all his way. He had Smith from Alabama, and he's got the other guy from Tennessee, and yet only 22 touchdowns. Got the running. It's like Navy. They run the ball and play defense. Andy Dalton, 18-9. Lamar Jackson, 17-7. Now he only played 12 games. Why? But only because he runs and got hurt. But here he's only 17 touchdowns and 7 picks. It's terrible. Fields, 17-11. So he's just as bad. He throws for 17, throws 11 picks. Then we got my man David Mills, Houston, 17-15. 17 touchdowns and 15 picks. And he's going to beat out C.J. Stroud because C.J. Stroud ain't going to do shit. Russell Wilson, Denver, 16-11, but I expect Sean Payton to fix that. I expect him to be in the high 20s with maybe 6 or 7 picks. Garoppolo, 16-4 in 11 games with Oakland or with Frisco. So he passed a lot differently there. He had Kittle. Mariota is on Philly, 15-9. He was on Atlanta. Daniel Jones, 15-5. Again, he only throws 15 touchdown passes, and he played 16 games. That's ridiculous. For him, for these guys not to be in the upper 20s, 30s, is just they're not professionals. This is my bitch. Matt Ryan at Indy, 14 touchdowns, 13 picks. Kyler Murray, 14-7. Mac Jones, 14-11. And they don't play Zappy. What the fuck are they doing with a quarterback that's 14-11? How the fuck do you play him? How can you bet them? This is, again, my point. Tannehill, 13-6. He's not at Tennessee anymore, so I don't know where he's going. Now here's Brock Purdy in 9 games, 13-4 in 9 games, and only 4 interceptions. This is what you got to love about Purdy. He doesn't throw the ball away. Brissett's now at Washington, 12-6. Carson Wentz, here's his problem, 11-9. You can't have a quarterback that throws as many interceptions as touchdowns. Stafford, 10-8. Mayfield, 10-8. Is he on? Oh, he's on Tampa Bay now. Okay. Deshaun Watson, 7-5. Pickett, 7-9. That's why Pitt had trouble. Bailey Zappi, 5-3. Let's see. Trubisky, 4-5. He's pathetic. That's about it. Oh, Joshua Dobbs. I'm shocked he's not back at Tennessee after that dreadful read in a playoff game. And Cleveland, why would Cleveland pick up this guy? Didn't you see he didn't know what he was doing in the playoff game? So you're going to pick him up? Like, you think he'll know what he's doing then? Anyway, so I just wanted to go through, like, what do you look for and why? All right, so let's go to Major League Baseball. Let's see if we can give Andrew a game or two. Detroit and Chicago, White Sox have already started. But look at the money line. Chicago was -130 and Detroit's even. What the fuck? This is why it's so hard to bet, because they're fucking you on the odds. You think the government fucks you with taxes and inflation. Well, these casinos make the government look like good guys. All right. Where are my... maybe I'm in a wrong spot. Yeah, actually, you've got to be in scores and schedules. All right, so Detroit's off. Baltimore, New York. Yankees 135-9. Kyle Gibson for Baltimore, 5-3 with a 4.27 against Clark Schmidt. 2-4 with a 6. Over under 9. I think it's an over. I think the Yankees, Baltimore don't they hit a lot? I think that's an over game. Atlanta and Philly. Atlanta is really good. 30 wins, 19. Philly minus 110 at Atlanta. Well, they're making Atlanta home dog. Well, it's probably a home even. 9.5. You got Nola 4-3 with the 4-3-1 against Dylan Dodd of Atlanta. 2-1 with a 6.46. Another game that looks over just based on the ERAs. But then they fool you. They only pitch 5 innings. They give up 2 or 3 runs, which makes their ERA high. But then the relievers come in and there's no more scoring. So that's why it's so tough baseball now. Frisco and Milwaukee. Frisco minus 125, another road favorite, over under 9. Alexander 4-0 with a 4.42 against Teheran for Milwaukee. 0-0 with a 0 ERA. So has he pitched at all? These teams are pretty even. I don't know the pitchers. The Mets and the Cubbies. The Mets minus 105. So that's even. Over under 8.5. We got Carlos Carrasco for the Mets. 0-2 with an 8.68 against Kyle Hendricks. 0-0 with a 0 ERA. Now, Kyle Hendricks I've heard of, but I don't know. Is he that strong this year? He must not be, because the Mets are favored with a pitcher with an 8.68 ERA. I don't know. Oakland, Seattle. Seattle minus 250, 7.5. Logan Gilbert, 2-2 with a 3.81. Oakland has Sears, 0-3 with a 4.9. I like Seattle here, but it's minus 250. So, yeah, Oakland really sucks. They're 10-41. And that's it. Let's see, finished. We got St. Louis beat Cincy 2-1. McCullough against Sims. Tampa beat Toronto. Tampa is like winning every game. Zach Elfin, now we'll keep a note on him. 7-1 with a 3.17 against Manoa. Winning 5 with a 5.53 ERA and a save for Tampa. So they win 6-3. And then Colorado, Miami. Brent Suter, 3-0 with an 0.87 ERA, gets the win for Colorado. That's impressive, an 0.87 ERA in Colorado against Brazoban, 0-1 with a 4.05 for Miami, but I don't know if he's a starter or bullpen. So really no big baseball. I'll give you the one. Take Seattle over Oakland, because Oakland sucks. And maybe take the Yankees over 9. So we'll give you those two. Washington's up 6-5 in the 8th, and Detroit and Chicago are 0-0. That's what I got for you, Andrew. Here's what I don't know what I believe. Russian bombs, UK uranium shells, and the nuclear is going across Europe. I don't know. Would that happen? Did they really, who knows? Okay, so I watched a little of this guy, and who owns the gold? People will be shocked. He never says it. Well, I didn't listen enough. Now we're not going to listen to this guy because he's a freaking moron, but I'm going to show you my comments. So my first comment is, by the way, since you're not saying who owns the gold, China owns 45,000 tons. and I can't read the rest because it's upside down. Uh, China owns 45,000 tons of gold. Not sure your title. It's meaningless. In other words, he's saying who owns the gold, but he doesn't say Chinese. And I don't know if that's where he's going with it. He's a big conspiracy theorist. Well, he's not even that. He's just a moron. Oh, the bad guys are going to central bank us and they're going to digital currency us and they're going to control. We'll all be slaves. And it's like, dude, you're the one. You're the problem is when they talk like that. It'll never happen. We're going to tell them to fuck off. It'll never happen. They can say it, they can try it, but it ain't going to work if nobody does it. And believe me, if I yell about buying gold and nobody listens, you think these guys are going to come out with central bank digital currency? Look, the inflation, we can't go there. We got to go with central bank. You think anybody's going to listen? I'm screaming buy gold and silver because it's your only way out. It's the Titanic, and it's the only competition for the dollar, and nobody listens. So who the fuck's going to listen to him? My next one. This guy is crazy. This guy is crazy. Laugh out loud. No clue. It won't work if we won't let it. So he's trying to say we're going to be controlled by the evil, and they're going to destroy the dollar. Da 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 da. And you can't have gold and silver. Da 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 da. Which gets to he doesn't understand that we have to accept whatever shit they're throwing at us. Here's a comment from somebody else. Francis nails it. Such an eloquent, well thought out way. I don't know what the fuck he's listening to. There is no escape from what they planned, so we have to fight back against it by educating as many around us who are still unaware. There is no running to other countries to avoid fascism in your own country anymore because of all the countries are fiat debt-based currencies, and they are all going to fail. Okay, so gold gets you out of that mess, gets you out of fascism because nobody can control you with gold and silver, and they're not going to take your gold and silver. If you listen to Alistair, that's why I'm very picky who I listen to. This guy comes across, they're all going to control, we'll all be slaves, fascism. It's bullshit. It's not if we don't let it happen. Let's see, what are the replies? Great that people like that can still get the event. Yeah, he does. Yeah, whatever. He is absolutely correct. These self-anointed priest kings are not even trying to hide their evil plans. Oh my God. Here's an intelligent guy. He not wrong. We in the West have been traveling down the road of neo-postmodern Bolshevists for many years now, concerning times. Always good to hear someone red piling the audience. Whatever. See, the people are, the comments are as stupid as the guy. This gentleman is presenting an incredible amount of information that needs to be heard and acted on. Well, I make a comment. I've been doing this for 2 years. Like it's not new. Now, here's a guy after my heart. He who controls the gold controls the world. Where have we heard that from before? Oh, I said it. Yeah. Well, guess what? God owns all the gold, and he also controls the world. Take that, Jamie Dimon, because you're going down. God owns all the gold? Does he have a bank? God owns all the gold. What bank does God work at? And see, here's my comment. We need Jack Bauer because I'm watching 24. We need Jack Bauer because the way you were painting the picture, it's going to be catastrophe. We need somebody to save us. This is the picture this idiot's painting. So if somebody talk, this is this is our whole concept, right? Um, he's talking and people listen to him and take him for fact. This is what I keep saying. You've got to be careful who you listen to and if you can trust them and if they make sense. This is a guy I wouldn't listen to. Then there's this guy, Gareth Soloway. I would never listen to him. This guy's a freaking idiot. He doesn't get anything. Again, he doesn't get what I think I commented on this morons. He doesn't get what inflation is. So there's my comment. Let me read it. This guy doesn't know what inflation is. Laugh out loud. Please don't listen to this guy. Stock market will crash. He's saying to buy gold. The professor, gold is the only out. It's not gambling. So he's trying to say gold's gambling. Zero risk, huge reward, the professor. And I'll like my own. This is the point. He starts talking about inflation. He says, well, the supply chain's this and the Fed's going to back it down to 2%. I'm like, what a fucking idiot. So not a lot you can get out of these guys. I didn't see a whole lot. This was a pretty good one yesterday. Egon, also from the conference we've been watching from Germany, he's done his presentation, the one with Alistair. Now he's doing it with somebody else. And it's the same thing. He really just brings it home. And if you want to get a good thing, there's one by George Carlin many years ago doing his little comedian bit. And he rips the people like for saving the planet and all the bullshit that's going on now. He rips them. But this was 20 years ago. Say, what do you mean save the planet? It's how can we hurt the planet? And it was just so perfect. So I advise if you want to listen to it. Anyway, I'm still doing my sciatic pain and stuff like that. So we touched on football. We touched on basketball. Gold. We know the gold price is fixed. We know that this is going to zero. We know this is losing value. So the only way gold can go down is if it's fixed, not if it's real. If it's real, it can't go down. It's impossible because the dollar's losing value. So don't get caught up in comex. This is why we don't pay attention to it. And we're not in it for a day. We're in it, for years. And we'll make a lot of money. And just all you do is just keep buying it. You want to give it to me for 26? Fine. That'd be like me marking down the Brady rookie card I got that's worth 80, 90 grand. I'll give it to you for 60. I'd be, thank you. Why are you selling it to me cheap? I don't know. I feel like it. I mean, that's about why silver. Why is silver cheap? Don't know. So it's a bunch of bullshit. Don't get caught up in gold and silver. There's a few topics I wanted to touch base on. I can't think of what they are. It's about some movies I've been watching. Remember about trust. You've got to know the person before you trust them. This is dating. This is investment. This is anything. You meet a girl, you don't know her, take it easy. If a beautiful girl comes up to you, be very get to know her first, because it'll cost you a lot of money, and she doesn't really like you. A beautiful girl has 20 guys, so she's coming after you for money, most likely. So be very careful about that. Make sure you know who you trust. You want to watch a video. You want to learn about gold and silver or stocks, or some nutcase saying, "Oh yeah, the stocks are going to go up." And I guess there's so much disinformation. I think it's kind of where I was going with it, where people will say gold and silver are going down, or don't own it, or, I mean, all you can do is laugh at these people. They're fucking morons. There's no way gold and silver are going anything but through the roof. So when you see these little comex, you got to understand these are paper, not physical. That's why we differentiate. It's paper. It's people selling 1 million ounces that they don't really have. And then I think there's a settlement now. So I've watched silver just drop as this. I don't even understand what the central bank's thinking. You're not going to get people to sell it if the price is going down. All you're going to do is incur buying. So if they're trying to say, "Oh, buy the dollar, look how strong the dollar is," you got to be fucking kidding me. These guys are going to lose their ass, because these are shorts. They are betting the price of gold and silver are going to go down, and they're going up in the free market, in the physical market, in the physical world. Gold and silver are going up. So we're really just waiting for Russia and the BRICS countries to come out with gold back. But it really doesn't even matter if that happens, because the dollars nobody wants. And if nobody wants it, it has no value. It goes to zero. At that point, gold goes through the roof. So even if they don't have a currency based on gold, Russia and China and the BRICS, oh, they didn't do it, or they're scared to, or they can't make up their mind or something. I'm pretty sure this is happening in August at some conference they're having in Moscow. But keep in mind, the dollar's blowing up with the inflation, period. They print, it's worth less. They print more, it's worth less. They print more, it's worth less. That's what's happening, but they can't. So the one thing that Egon says that's very good is, he says, if you put a drop in a swimming pool and you keep doubling it every minute. So you put a drop in and you put two drops. This is like a stadium. Let's say Dallas Cowboys Stadium. Put a drop in, you barely notice it. And a minute later, 2, minute later, 4, minute later, 8. How long will it take to fill the stadium? He says 45 minutes, maybe 50 minutes. That's it, not even an hour. But he says is at 35 minutes, it's only 7% full. But then as it keeps doubling, it only takes another 10 or 15 minutes to fill up. So it's like you're really low, and then all of a sudden it's boom. And that's what's going to happen with gold. It's going slow, but it keeps going up. Then eventually it's just going to keep going. Then it's going to compound. The next thing you know, it'll be worth 100 grand. Well, 50 grand an ounce. It'll probably hit 100, but what it'll buy, see, everything will be fucked, because nobody will know what to price anything. What's my guy price his ribs at? No idea. That's a problem. Hey, Eric. What's going on? Class be busy working all day. Yeah, I worked all day too, but one thing, I will be on tomorrow. My boss comes on. Now I'm contract, but my boss is Harley. And so she goes to me, well, I'm giving everybody the day off tomorrow because of the holiday on Monday. I said, well, I knew I would be off Monday, but that's nice, but I don't get paid for it. So I'm going to work like 3 or 4 hours tomorrow. I figure I'll work till noon and then relax. I'll be sitting around Saturday, Sunday, Monday anyway. So I'm thinking, well, I haven't been paid for 6 months, just some Social Security lately and unemployment lately, but I went a few months with no pay. And so I'm thinking, I can work an easy 4 hours. There's some shit I can do in SAP and Excel. I can do that. I'll work 4 hours and then I get 36 hours instead of 32. And then next week I get 32 because of the holiday. So if there's a holiday or vacation and I don't get, and I don't work, I don't get paid for it. In my mind, I might as well work 4 easy hours and off I go. So that's what I'll be doing. So I'll be doing the show and I might go to swim and then do the show after swim if I go at noon just to get out. But that's my game plan. And so I will be tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and probably Monday. I can do my classes all 4 days. I need to use your Harley Davidson discount on a road glide. I don't even know if I have one. I might have one because I'm not really an employee, but usually the contractors get a discount. But yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I can't believe I've been here. It'll be 3 weeks tomorrow. It's just amazing. So I'm looking forward to next Thursday's check and off to the coin store with some serious money finally. That money's not staying in the bank, I guarantee you there. Anyway, so please be careful who you trust. Girls are the worst because the American girls look at you for the money. The European girls, they look for you for different. Oh, you're American. You can take care of me. I'm safe with you. I hear that from them more. An American girl never says I'm safe with you like a European does because the way they get treated over there. So just be careful, but get to know people, especially finance people. Get to know people who are you're trying to smell what they're cooking, like The Rock. Make sure if you watch one of these idiots on YouTube and he's telling you we're all going to be slaves, I turn it off. I put a little comment like, "Oh, fuck off, you're an idiot." They can't just make us slaves, and the powers to be. I was watching something on BlackRock, and I watched his background. He's a salesman. He sold fucking houses. This guy doesn't know what he's doing, and he's not rich. What happened is they are an investment bank, so if you got 1,000 shares of Apple and it's under their sphere, they don't own the Apple, you do, but it kind of rolls up. It's sort of like if I still had 100 grand in Newmont Mining, and it's at E-Trade, which is now Chase or whatever. J.P. Morgan got it. Then J.P. Morgan would say, "Well, look, we're managing $100,000." No, you're not. I'm managing it. You don't own anything. You can't do anything with it. It's my money and my stock. Well, H&R BlackRock bought all these, and so they're saying we got $10 trillion. No, they don't. They've got all the people who have the stock, and they're trying to take advantage of it. And the funny part is, they made a deal with the Ukraine to rebuild it. What the fuck does BlackRock know about building anything? They're an investment bank. They don't know anything about. First of all, they don't know anything about banks because the worst investment you can make as a bank is houses. And what do? They're trying to buy all the houses up. Well, guess what? Nobody's buying them. Now you're fucked because you got all your money in the houses that you can't sell, that you can't get rent for. You pay property taxes and maintenance for. So it's costing you an arm and a leg. Plus, you've spent the money to buy the house that you're not getting back. It's a terrible investment for a bank. So BlackRock doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. How they're going to rebuild the Ukraine? I didn't think the war was over, number one. Number two, how are they going to rebuild it? What are he going to send builders over and take his cut? Come on. I mean, that's just so stupid. And why would Zelensky want BlackRock to rebuild? And then what are they going to do? Make it really expensive for the poor Ukrainians who have no money to buy a house? That's kind of what China did, right? They they built all these fancy houses and high rises, and nobody could afford them. So they sat there unoccupied. And then the shit came through and the debt came through and they collapsed. Evergrande and the Chinese housing market all collapsed. And that's what's going to happen in the Ukraine. If he wants to charge a lot of money, they're all going to say, fuck you. We can't afford it. And he won't sell any of them. Oh, I got all these houses I'm going to sell for $100,000. Well, guess what? In Ukraine, they go for like $5 and $10,000. They don't go for $100,000. So I don't know what he thinks he's doing, but he's another guy that is fucking clueless. These guys get into real estate. Okay, I'll be sitting in the hot tub or at a dinner, and I mention gold, and they go, well, you can buy. I was sitting in the market, like a farmer's market in Barcelona. I'll show you. So I was at a place like this. We have the counter, and this guy's got meat, and this guy's got nuts or chocolate. One of these type of farmers markets. That looks pretty yummy. So you just go by and eat. It's like a baseball card show, but with food. So one guy comes to me, and he's sitting down, and my back's bothering me. So I'm talking to him about gold. And he's, yeah, I'm with you. I get it. And then I walk away, and then his friend goes, well, you can buy real estate. You don't need to buy gold. And that's the biggest. I mean, these people that are Madoff, they're just, I could see why Madoff got away with it, because people are so fucking stupid that they don't understand anything. You don't make money in real estate. You can buy a house so you can live in a house as opposed to an apartment, or you can buy a condo. You buy it for $200,000. If you think you're buying it to go to $400,000, you're out of your fucking mind, because you're going to pay so much in interest and anything, maintenance, property taxes. You don't really make a whole lot in your house, but it's a place to live. So whoever says real estate is a good investment, it ain't a house, and I don't know what they're talking about. What are you going to have, a farm? What are you going to go farm something because of the destruction of the world, like this other idiot's talking? Nice looking place and food. Yeah, that was Barcelona. There was like this whole farmer's market type of place. I liked it because I used to work at a grocery store. So I got 3 little the chocolate balls. It cost me 10 euros. I was like, you got to be kidding. Because they do everything. They'll say it's 3 euros for a kilogram or whatever. Well, I don't know what that means. I mean, how much is a ball weigh? I mean, so I got 3 of them, figuring it'll be the $3. And it was $10. And so it was like $3 a ball. Like, what the fuck? So I thought prices were kind of expensive there. But yeah, I really liked it. And then I liked the ocean. We're on the Mediterranean. And it was expensive there. The hotels I thought were expensive. We stayed in just an average hotel. It was pretty expensive. But anyway, so let me think what I was thinking. So you just have to be real careful. Real estate. Why is real estate a good investment? I would much rather own a Mantle card or a Bobby Orr or a Joe Montana or a Burrow or Mahomes, Brady. Anytime I'm going to make what I was showing you the other day, the Jim Brown card, because he died. And it's like $100,000. I bought mine. It's got to be mint condition. I got to get it graded. But it's nicely centered. Corners are good. The picture's good. I paid $100 for it. That's how you make money. You buy it low and sell it high. So you buy it for 100 and then get it graded. So you've got to have a good eye to get a mint condition card at a show. And it's got to be Brady or Mantle or somebody good that there's demand for. It's got to be high demand, right? So if you can get it non-graded here and then you grade it and it goes up to here, like any Mantle card, you get a mint condition 65 tops Mantle for $400-500. Get it graded 9. You just made $500,000. It's a no-brainer. No, I want to buy a house and fix it up and all this bullshit. You got to be stupid to do any of these fix-it things. And again, it's because you're buying it cheap. Well, I'm not fixing up the Mantle card. It's mint condition. My eye bought the card, and I saw it was in mint condition. That's why I bought it. The Montana rookie, the Rice rookie, the Elway rookie, and go on and on and on. The Emmett rookie, the Berry rookie. That's where it's at. That's how you make your money on it. Buying a house, you pay $1 million for a house. What do you think is going to go to 2? Yeah, maybe if you're Tom Brady and you buy Tom Brady's house for he pays $4 million, he sells it for 8 because he's Tom Brady. Yeah, but we're not Tom Brady. Nobody's going to buy my house because the professor lived there. So keep that in mind. So what I was talking about at the markets, I'm telling the guy gold, and I walk around in a circle because I get lost. And then I hear his buddy tell him about real estate. And I'm saying, what part of there's no risk and a huge return in gold are we not understanding? Again, to tell somebody to buy gold is like pulling teeth. I don't understand what it's just this negative propaganda that, oh, don't buy gold, it's not going to go up. And I showed you the chart a couple days ago where it went from 500-600 to 2,000. Yeah, I know it doesn't pay interest or dividends. Yeah, okay. I could get Coca-Cola and it pays 4 or 5% in a dividend. But when the stock price goes from 40 to 10, they keep raising their prices. They're going to be out of business because you can't. It was like $1.59. Now it's $3. I saw $3.40 for 2-liter Coke. No, good luck there. Who the fuck in the world is going to pay $3.40 for 2-liter Coke? I can drink Pepsi or I can drink 7-Up or Squirt or Faygo. Verner's, that is not going to be $3.50. And that was at one grocery store. The rest were like $2.79 or whatever. But this is a very aggressive grocery store. I only buy my meats there. I don't buy like my salad dressing or my ketchup. And I bought some salmon. It was $11.99 a pound. Okay, that's fine. It was farm raised, which I didn't love, but at that price, I'll cook it an extra 5 minutes because it's just sitting there in the farm raised crap. But anyway, I don't know why real estate, buying a house, you're buying an asset. I get that. But like a Rolex, you buy a Rolex for 50 grand. Where's it going? Oh, you think, so you're buying a Rolex for 50 grand because it's going to go to 100 grand? I don't think so. Maybe, but it's really this. See, what everybody's saying is it's this that's going bad. But the morons who don't understand what inflation is think it's the price that's causing the inflation, not the dollar losing value. And that's another part of the bullshit game that's being played, which you must understand. Who do I listen to? Who the fuck even knows what they're talking about? Most of these morons are fucking clueless. Well, the prices are going up, so that's inflation. That's not how you measure inflation. It's the purchasing power of the dollar. And if you print more, the dollar purchases go down. But guess what? You can't print more gold. You can't really produce more Rolexes, and you can't really produce more Mantle cards now They have to come out with like 2023 mantle cards and say that on there. They can't reprint 1965 mantle or the 1952 rookie. They can't just start going in the back room and printing them. They're not allowed to. But gold and silver, they can't print more. They can find more out of the ground, but that takes a while. And that's not a no-brainer. So you gotta be careful with that. But the one thing for sure is every currency that's not backed by gold is just paper crap, and it always goes to zero. Because at the end of the day, people start waking up that it's worthless and nobody wants it. The 20-year-old girl eventually turns 60 and nobody wants her because we always want the 20-year-old girl. Nobody wants the 60-year-old girl. And nobody wants this. Eventually, this will zero out, which is very, very soon in the next 6 months or so. This will zero out. It doesn't matter if it's the reserve currency or not. What matters is nobody wants it. So you can say it's the reserve, but you don't need it to buy oil anymore. Saudi Arabia is they'll take any other currency. They don't care. U.S. pissed them off. You're pissing off the fucking Saudis. Africa doesn't want us. Asia doesn't want us. Europe, I don't know. Russia doesn't. Ukraine will still take us. Romania, I can still send PayPal, but I don't know. Turkey, I don't know where they're standing. Mexico's getting off. All these countries are getting off the boat. None of them want to be coerced by the U.S. That's the problem with it. There's a way to do it where you're doing business, and there's a way to do it, and the way they're doing it's very with corruption and power, and we'll sanction you, and we're going to raise interest rates on you. That's not the way to keep being the reserve currency, and that's the problem. So keep that in mind. Who can you trust? Who do you listen to? There was some lady I saw at the coin store, and I talked to her for 2 hours at a Coney Island before I went to Alabama. Recently, I saw her in the store again. I said, just listen to me. Well, she doesn't listen to me for some reason. She listens to Lynette Zhang. She was a stockbroker. Most of these idiots that you see are stockbrokers. They're not economists. They don't know what they're talking about. And they're thinking like stockbrokers, and they're trying to sell you, and they don't get it. So I just looked at her. I says, I don't think I would trust her. I've watched her with an open mind. I don't like Andy Schuckman. I don't like this Peter Schiff. Guy is a fucking Nazi. I wouldn't trust him at all. I told you who to trust: Andrew and Alistair and Egon. Those are the three guys that have a brain in their head. And now I found out that Alistair was a stockbroker in the 70s, but I think he then turned into a banker or something. But he's not your normal stockbroker type of guy. He did more. But very few of me. There's very few of me in football who give football picks, and there's very few of me that understand economics. And really, you need to understand it. But the way I've understood Austrian economics is certainly not what they're talking about. It's not Keynesian. It's not print the money. It's the gold. And you just need a currency that you can't fucking print to zero. And all this is being printed to zero. It doesn't matter what country you are, because all this is backed by nothing. Air. It smells like George Soros put everybody on it because he knows that's what's going to happen. And he probably ran and bought gold, and all the central banks, that's in the news. Why are they buying gold? Because they know it's going to cost. I can survive. That's what I'm doing. Think of me as a central bank. Think of me as a bank. I got money. I know what do? I run and buy gold and silver. I want to protect myself and have money. And then I don't have to be a slave to the elitist or whatever bullshit that's going on. These guys are so stupid. Somebody, oh, the banks are a plan. These guys, the banks are a plan. Are you fucking kidding me? You think these idiots could plan something like this? They have to be intelligent. They're not. They work for the government. These guys are a bunch of morons. They're a bunch of communists. They're dictators. They try to pound you. They don't have any brains. That's why I get like, there's no way they're going to do that. They have a plan. But if you are worried about it, you get into gold and silver, you get out of it. Well, okay, so let's play the bullshit game. What if they confiscate my gold and then I don't have it? Okay, don't buy gold. Keep your money in this. What happens? This goes to zero. So you're either staying in that, it's called inflation. They're making this go to zero. So your choice one is you hold your money here. You don't buy the gold and silver because you're worried about getting it confiscated. Or, geez, the price isn't going up because it's priced in dollars. But that's choice one, is I don't do anything and I keep my money in there. You can watch it go to zero. Or I can put my money in gold and silver. And if they compensate it, I'm in the same boat I would have been in if I kept the dollars. Only, you know what? I can probably, put it in Switzerland and give some to my girlfriend in Romania and have her hold it. Or I can put it in storage. I can move it around. I'm not, and I believe I can keep my property. So, there's a lot of that also where they try to scare you into, they're going to confiscate your gold because they did it once before. We were on the gold standard back then. We're not on it now. They needed the gold to print more money. They don't need the gold, and now they just print. So somewhere in this crazy thing is the U.S., China, Canada, and the U.K., and Germany, and a lot of the West. We'll just keep printing money, and we won't tell anybody, and we'll just keep printing, and we'll just keep taking debt and keep printing money, and that'll be fine. These ones somebody thinks are going to have a plan that's going to actually work. And a central bank digital currency. Well, if it's not backed gold, there's no difference between that and this. But I'd rather be able to buy dollars than that. And I don't want to go to the gold store and want to buy 2 ounces of gold. And somebody says, no, you can't use your central bank digital currency to buy gold. So wait till that happens. Or, you want to go to France. Oh, you can't fly to Europe with your central bank digital currency. Sorry. Do you think anybody's going to put up with that shit? We're all going to say, fuck you. So if you have gold, you don't even get central bank digital currency. Because there has to be this. There has to be the medium of exchange. There has to be. Even with central bank digital currency, how are you going to get money into your account? And then how do you use it? And then I like the story, they're going to obsolete it like eggs and, or milk. Well, you got 2 months to spend it or it goes away. The fuck are you talking about? Money's a store of wealth. Gold and silver would be, not the dollar. Do you think anybody's going to put up with that? You got 350 billion people in the U.S. You think they're all just going to say, that's okay. My money just went away. Not a problem. Really? Okay. Keep dreaming that one, people. There's a lot of power in 350 million people. And if you don't want central bank digital currency, you're not going to get, because they will put their foot down. And that's the thing. And especially in the U.S., I noticed Texas and I think Florida have already said we will not accept central bank digital currency. So what happens? You move down to Florida or you move down to Texas or Indiana or whatever, Everybody moves to Florida or Texas or Indiana and says, fine, I don't want central bank digital currency. And that's the beauty of remote. I can go move there if I want, if I need to. Although what'll happen is prices will go up for houses because supply will exceed demand. So the demand for a house will force the price up. So everything works with economics but gold. But that's where I come in with an ounce of gold and I buy a house in Florida, and then I don't have to use central bank digital currency. And then I can go fly to Amsterdam and France and wherever the fuck I want to fly to. So to do that means they must have currency. In other words, this isn't going to work. The CBDC won't work. And then to prevent people from leaving all the other states, basically all the states will then say, we're not going to use it either. And they can't force it on you. So that's really the key. So, learn who you're talking to. Can you trust? Do they know what they're talking about? If they say they don't like gold, turn it off immediately. If they think inflation is prices, turn it off immediately. Because you're getting bad information that's going to negatively influence you. Oh, buy stocks. I love seeing these guys buy stocks. Why? So I can lose my ass in the stock market when all the foreigners don't want dollars, pull their money out, and the market crashes. I want to be in the market. Like Kramer said, Silicon Valley, it's a buy. And then 2 weeks later, it went to zero because it went bankrupt. I mean, all the banks are in trouble. I believe that's what the central bank's doing, is raising interest rates. A, so when they get paid back their dollars, they make more. And B, so they get the banks in trouble, which makes really no sense. I think he just thinks that's how you end inflation, is if you raise rates, then the inflation goes down just by raising rates, but it doesn't work. So again, the only way to stop inflation is gold. Back your money by gold, and inflation goes away. That's all you need to do. Very simple. Anyway, a few more minutes. Learn who to trust. Women at a poker game. Learn the players, who bluffs, who plays straight, who cheats. Be careful. Teams, be careful. Women, why is she? It doesn't. If the story doesn't fit, then just walk away. The gold and silver, well, the price is going down, don't buy it. Doesn't make any sense to me. Inflation, no, it's you're printing too much, you're losing value, you're losing purchasing power. That's inflation, not prices. So if they don't explain that right, they're out of their minds. There's still Rickards is still going, well, there's inflation because of the supply chain. What does that got to do with inflation? Okay, so what you're saying is supply is limited because they're not getting enough in. Therefore, demand up for it. Just because supply is, if demand's here, let's take electric cars. Demand's here, and then they can't get chips in, so the supply's down here. Does that force the price up? No. Even on a regular car, you got a gas-powered Camry like I have, and you're not getting parts. Does that force the price up? No. I'm only going to pay $25,000. I don't give a fuck. Then I'll buy another pry. See, the key that we have is we can say, fuck you, and buy the substitute good or the competition. We don't need Toyota. We can buy Honda. We don't need BMW. We can buy Mercedes. We don't need steaks. We can buy lamb chops, or vice versa. Lamb chops are expensive for some reason. I don't know why. We don't want apples. We can buy oranges. I mean, it's you can substitute anything you do, pretty much. And therefore, increase in prices shouldn't affect you at all. Why? I mean, I go to one store, it's expensive, but the meat's cheap. So I go for the meat. Then I drive to the other store to get the veggies and everything else. I refuse to pay $5 for salad dressing that I buy for $3 at the other store. It's the same salad dressing. It's my Ken's. What the fuck would I pay more? Or for my avocados, $2 at the meat store and 88 cents at the other store. Why would I pay $2 for an avocado that I can get for 88 cents? Now, I'm not driving all over. I got 2 stores. I buy meat and chicken and steaks here, and I go here to buy fruits and veggies and everything else. Bobby Bo, how the hell are you, Bobby Bo? I was hoping you'd pop in. Yeah, you're late to class. Are you buying more silver at these prices? First of all, are you worried about these prices? A smart man like you, are you worried? So I'm sure you watch Comex. So it's 22.71. Are you worried, or are you going, this is the greatest buying opportunity I could see? Ooh, look at gold. Gold went from 1940. Oh no, that was early this morning. Yeah, it's at 1941. But that 10 o'clock came at 9 o'clock for gold. So it's so obvious. It happens every morning. We know it's fixed. That's okay. Bring your teacher an apple. I was talking to my boss about our diet, and she's going to start doing it. See, people don't get the 18-hour fast that the photography takes over if you fast for 18 hours and cleans you up and you lose weight because you're not eating all the shit. And so she's going to try it. She'll lose like we've lost. But are you afraid of the silver price dropping? I'm not worried, Presser, because now we can accumulate more. There you go, Bobby. You understand. My son understands. Yeah, well, I told her what to do. Stay away from carbs, stay away from high fructose corn syrup, and you got to do 18 hours. So you got to eat your lunch at noonish, eat your dinner by 6ish, and then you don't eat at night, and you don't eat breakfast. And she's like, oh, I'm 40 pounds overweight. And I'm like, give it 2 months and you'll be probably by maybe 10 pounds overweight, and you'll be doing cartwheels down the block. You'll be so happy. Yeah, the fasting's the whole thing, right? And then staying away from the carbs and the high fructose corn syrup. That was the first thing I did, is I threw out my ketchup, my salad dressings, and my barbecue sauce, and I got rid of the yogurts. And that was the first thing I did. I emptied my whole fridge, and I threw out my Cheerios and my cornflakes, and then all of a sudden it was avocados, olive oil and lemon, and salads, and a lot of eggs. I've been having a hard time finding stuff to eat when outside. So much unhealthy food. Well, that's their conspiracy. They're trying to kill us all. I guess what you do there, if you're actually like going out to a restaurant, you can get omelets, you can get steak, you can get chicken. If you get a hamburger, just take it off the bun. But I know what you mean. I tend to eat chili out. Like when I go to the rib place, I'm getting ribs, which are okay, but I got to be careful of the sauce. I get a side salad, and then usually I want to bring my own. If I know I'm going, I'm bringing my Ken's salad dressing, and then I can have a potato or coleslaw. So it's a salad, which is great with Ken's, and then the ribs or chicken. I try to ask them not a lot of sauce, and then if I'm smart enough to bring my Ken's French, then I don't need their shit. But it is very sweet, their sauce. That's really where you got to be careful. I called the Chinese wok place from last time and asked the lady if they make the General Chow fried or woked, and she hit Bobby Bo with a big time disappointment when she responded fried. Yeah. Then I said, I'll call you back, and hung up. So back to having no healthy Chinese food around here. That's the problem that I noticed. That's why I go to my Chinese every Saturday, because I don't have to work, and it's a good 20-minute drive, but I don't want to drive it in traffic. I want to drive it on a Saturday, and I get, and it's nothing. It's very healthy, and it's not fried. It's very unique. They walk it, and the sauce I think is a little sweet. I'm starting to notice, but very good. But I might get something different this week. I'm just general chowed out, I think. Yeah, it sucks because I thought I had found a good place. I don't think you're gonna find a Chinese restaurant that doesn't fry it. They buy frozen chicken that's fried already, so they're freezing it, and then they're just taking it out and boiling it. Like if you ever go to a Coney Island and get chili, it's burning hot because they nuked the fucking thing. It's not even like cooked. It was cooked, but it's nuked, and that's why it's so fucking hot. So it's really hard to find anything good. That's why I tend to eat at home. I'll go buy nice steaks. I just bought some nice salmon, and I just cook it because it's not. I can't find a place I can eat at. Even if I get a hamburger, I don't want to eat the buns. If I go Five Guys and Fries or Wendy's, I don't want to eat the bun. Sometimes I just got the rotisserie chicken at the grocery store, but even that I heard is not the greatest for you. And I take the skin off. You got to watch your fried foods. So it's the restaurants aren't smart. They don't make a really good menu. And then because I eat omelets all the time, when I do go to Coney, I don't get the eggs there, where I would get the eggs for health reasons, but I don't get it. When Carmen was in town, we'd go to this, like Marriott had a Sunday brunch, and then I would get a bunch of eggs and bacon and fruit and stuff like that. Then I would do that. But otherwise, I don't even know where a buffet is. But yeah, if I go to the buffets, it's just to get. There are certain Chinese foods that are chicken that isn't fried. It's like almond boneless chicken. You can take the almond off, and then you get to the chicken. That's not actually fried, so it's kind of like taking the skin off. Then there's some other Chinese dishes that are. The chicken's not fried. It's just like tender. I can't think of what they're called, but there is definitely some chicken that isn't fried at Chinese. Sorry, Professor. I meant it sucks. Yeah, okay. No problem. Yeah, I agree. It's better to prep at least during the week because I want to stay healthy. So when silver booms, I'm here to see it. Well, yeah. By the way, Professor, my barbecue place I was telling you about last time just randomly closed down. My guess is it got too expensive and people couldn't afford it. Again, mine's only in business because I told them that you can't raise your price on ribs to $40. Nobody will pay. So my guess is your barbecue place raised their prices and off they go. I've been watching things on cars. And Ford at the dealerships, they can't. I think Ford's pulling a Madoff. I think they're selling their cars to the dealerships, but then the dealerships can't sell the cars. So it's actually an Enron because that's what Enron did. They're counting it as sales, selling it to the dealer. The dealer can't sell it. I saw Ford F-150s for 80, 90,000. Who the fuck has 90,000? And if you're going to do it, you're buying a Mercedes. You're not buying a Ford 150 for 70, 80, 90,000. You're going to be out of your mind. I was disappointed as I went there looking forward to a great meal, and it was locked and everything was torn down. Inside, people were walking by and shocked as it's been there for years, and it was the best barbecue. Well, I assume the prices went up. People couldn't afford it. Obviously, it was a price issue or cost issue where the guy couldn't make enough money. So that's why you go out of business. And that's my whole point. Why would you buy stock now? Because the businesses can't afford the higher cost. And if they think they're going to pass it on to the customer and the customer is going to pay more, the customer doesn't have money to pay more because the few items where we don't have substitute goods, heat, electricity, rent, you really don't have a substitute for it. So you're going to pay whatever they charge you for the heat, the electricity, your rent, your food. You can substitute some things, but like instead of going out, you can go to the grocery store. And I'm still finding my hamburger guy had 86%. It was $4 yesterday at the good meat place. So I'm either, is it really all meat or did the meat change and I'm not really buying good meat? I don't know. Maybe that's why my feet bother me when I'm eating too much meat or pop. Maybe there's something else in the water that's creating these side effects. Now, I haven't had pop in a couple of weeks. My feet have been fine. I just had burgers and my feet have been fine. So I don't know. I'm still sore, but I don't know. I think it's going to take a month. But I don't know. The way I sleep, I wake up and it's just aching. And last night it was aching. I had to get an ice pack at 2 a.m. and ice my back so I could. It was too much pain. And then like today, I'm okay sitting. But anyway, Bobby, I'm only working a half day tomorrow. She gave us the day off for the holiday, and I'm off Monday, so I will be on tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday because I'm not working. So I'm going to work like 8 to 12 tomorrow and get a half day in, and that'll be it. Well, I go to sleep probably about. I'm watching TV on the couch about 11:30. I start nodding off. And I go into bed by 12, which I'm upset. I want to watch the Munsters from 12 to 1, but I'm too tired. And then I put on Netflix on my laptop here, and I'm out in 10 minutes. I don't know. I might run out. If I work till noon, I might run out and go to the pool, get something to eat, and then have it in like 3 or 4 o'clock. Or I might have it right after at 12:30. Like now, I'm right after work, and then go to the pool later. But it's a nice opportunity. I might do it. Or if I feel enough, I'll go to the lake. I can do anytime. I've been watching old Scoop WWF wrestling lately. There you go. I've been watching old Rose Bowl games or old USC, UCLA, Michigan, Ohio State games. Those are the best. This garbage now, it's very hard to watch. I love how they're like saying how good CJ Stroud is because of his game against Ohio State. And I quickly shot out, yeah, he's looked really good against Michigan also. And the only reason he looked good against Georgia is their best player got injured, right? So the best defensive player in Georgia got injured in the Florida game. So that's why at the end of the year, LSU lit them up and Ohio State lit them up. They're able to run on them because their best defensive player was out. The plot thickens. I wondered why they're giving up points. And they were both the running quarterbacks. So don't make it sound like, oh, CJ Stroud's the answer. He still sucks. Anyway, tonight I'm going with Miami +8 against Boston. Boston had their back against the wall in game 2 and game 3, and they did shit. They didn't show up. Miami probably was sound asleep for game 4 going, we've got this. Boston sucks. And Boston didn't want to get eliminated without winning 1. But now you go back to Boston laying 8. And in game 4 was the only game that Miami was favored. So Boston was a dog. And, of course, they get a little pissed. Now they're laying 8. There's no chance they'll win. I got that. We are just over 3 months away from week 1, college football. Yeah, September. Well, Labor Day. I think Boston forced game 6 now. No, I don't. I think Miami puts them away tonight. The games that Boston needed to win were game 2 and game 3, and they didn't show up. This was just simply Miami being bored and Miami, look at Denver and the Lakers. Denver kills them the first 3, and then Boston, and then the Lakers are coming on. LeBron's playing, and then Denver mistakenly wins. So that was it for LeBron. I don't think that Boston can handle Miami. I think they got lucky, but I don't. Yeah, I think if Boston had balls at a 1-game 2 and forced the series 2-2, but I just logically don't see it. They might win. I don't think they'll cover 8.5. Rising versus Florida. Yeah, it's a little revenge there, isn't it? Especially in the mountains in Utah. Florida doesn't have a quarterback. Well, whoever, he's got to be better than Richardson. So definitely there. Yeah, I'm starting to. Well, we're getting into June. So I got to buy my college football magazine. It's so hard to find. I go to like Barnes and Noble and Borders and Target. Nobody fucking has it. It used to be, Barnes and Noble would have it, or Borders, or one of those, and you could always get it at Target or Myers or something. And it's just, and it's getting expensive. It's like $11 now. So gold goes down, but my football magazine will go up in price. So as we know, the gold price is pure bullshit. It's pure. No, I don't get. I hate Phil Steele. The guy's fucking clueless. LSU versus Florida State and Penn State versus West Virginia. Yeah, and Ohio State gets Notre Dame. I don't know if it's week 1 or week 2. No, I hate Phil Steele because Phil Steele doesn't analyze. What Phil Steele does is he tries to guess what place the team will come in, but he's not. I want to understand the team, not because they played this schedule, they should finish third place. I don't care about that. That's not meaning. I need to know what the team has, and it's going to be really tough with the portal. How the fuck are you going to know what the team is with the portal? They're getting 10 new kids. It's very difficult. You go into the coin store this week. I'm going to go tomorrow, I think, and buy another 20 ounces. I showed you I bought 20 ounces last Saturday. I think it was Saturday. And it was $28.40 an ounce. The guy's now doing 4.25 over spot. So now it's it'll be $27. It'll be $1.50 cheaper to buy it. He had 1 ounce of gold that was an eagle. He had a panda and some Canadian thing that had an Olympic symbol on it. But was there an Olympics in Canada? Montreal was 76. Calgary, I think, wasn't that the 90s? That was Winter Olympics. So maybe that's the one it was, but I'm not aware of any other Olympics in Canada. But it had an Olympic symbol on it. But those were the 3 he had, and I wasn't going to buy the panda. So we'll see if he has it. I says, aren't you getting in quarters or halves? It's hard to spend that $2,100 all the time. I can spend $500, $600 much more easily. Because nobody's given us the quarters and halves. They're just bringing in an ounce. So it's very, very low supply for gold, huge demand, which would justify the price going down. So again, we know it's a game. We know it's bullshit. And we know the U.S., they want everybody in the dollar, even though 100 countries are now out of the dollar. And really, they're not out of the dollar. They just want to use their own currency. And at the end of the day, everybody's going to gold, and the demand's huge. And what are we going to do? So the U.S., can we use logic for a minute? We don't have any gold. Canada doesn't have any gold, and the UK doesn't have any gold. And yes, Andrew said, well, we have gold mines in Canada. Yeah, but that's not owned by you. That's the gold mine. That's not the central bank having gold. So why does the U.S., who has no gold, want to keep the price of gold down So the rest of the world can buy gold cheap. And if he who has the gold makes the rule, what the fuck are you doing? Why would you want gold cheap? So that's one thing. Now, partly to answer it is we don't want competition for the dollar because gold is the only competition for the dollar. All the other currencies can't compete with the dollar. So you're not selling dollars for Canadian, for the British pound, for the euro, for the yen, for the won, for the ruble. You're not doing that. The other paper, toilet paper, nobody wants. It's all worthless. Any paper dollar not backed by gold is fucking worthless. So, yes, there is no substitute for the dollar in paper, but we all know the real competition is gold, and they can't compete with gold. So I guess that's why they're keeping the price down because they know everybody will flood out of the dollar. And poor JP Morgan and poor Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, who have all the dollars, would watch them all go to zero. So Buffett's $2 billion would go to zero, would be worth zero. So that's probably what they all the people with a lot of money or think they have a lot of money don't, but once it goes to zero, then they're all going to cry. So they don't want their dollars to go to zero, is what I think is the real reason. Because Buffett's going to lose $2 billion. Oh, that'll be a shame. Then he can't control us and put us in prison camps and feed us rice and everything. So that's really what I think the problem is, but it's all backfiring because you're letting the rest of the world get all the gold cheap, which then allows them to make the rules because eventually money talks, bullshit walks. And if you got the money and if you got the gold, the real money, you control everything because I don't want this. I'm burning it to get into gold and silver. I don't want this. So this is your big selling point. Well, you can have the US dollar. So even if it stays as the reserve currency, gold at the end of the day is the reserve currency. And there you go. Bobby, I was showing, Egon did another little show. That's our boy Egon, Unlocking the Power. It's pretty good. He basically says the same thing. All the dollars are worthless. Gold's going to go to $1 million. Just I don't look at comex. And then he comes up with his water dropping the stadium, where 90% is like 10% of the stadium, and then the last 15 minutes the stadium overflows because it keeps doubling. He says that's exactly what's going to happen. So we see gold not doing anything. And then real soon it's going to go through the roof. And that's why we got to keep buying the gold and silver. And when the price goes down, it's a sale. When I go to the gold store tomorrow, I'm just going to just laugh at the guys. And I'm going to say, thanks for putting it on sale. You guys are out of your mind. The coin stores are so stupid. What are they thinking? Man, if I ran a coin store, you wouldn't be able to get gold and silver from me because I'd be charging you $30,000 for an ounce of gold and $2,000 for an ounce of silver. I wouldn't let my silver go at $27. You got to be kidding me. I'll find a different way to pay the bills. But right now, I ain't selling silver at 27 an ounce. Oh, my God. But he did have a lot. He had a lot of the bullion. I didn't see. He had some 5-ounce bars that looked strange, and then he had the 1 ounce of gold. So anyway, that's what he had. So I'll buy probably another 20 ounces of silver and watch the price go down. But I do not have. I'm not at all worried because I know this is comex selling, keeping the price down. There's no human alive selling their gold and silver. And even if they were, it's not priced at market. So if everybody went and bought 1,000 ounces of silver, what's the price of silver? Because it's manipulated by JP Morgan. So it doesn't matter. They're selling fake paper gold, derivative That's what controls the price. If we all bought 1,000 ounces, the price wouldn't move at all. Now, at some point, they're going to run out of supply, and at some point, there's going to be 1,000 people wanting 200 ounces of silver and 200 ounces of gold, and there's going to be a nice little bidding war, which is going to raise the price. There isn't enough supply of gold to cover the demand of gold when everybody wakes up. Let's say there's 100 million people going after 100 million ounces, and they ain't 100 million ounces out there. So what'll happen? Well, I want it, you want it, we all want it. Okay, who's going to pay the most? And then it becomes a bidding war. Prices go up, and as prices go up, it scares people, and prices go up more and more and more till the dollar goes away, and then we're buying, like I said, houses and cars with our ounce of gold because people will want money, and when they see your gold, they're going to want it. But that's really where it's at. So if you watch any of these idiots saying, buy stocks and don't buy gold, or let's explain why gold. I love that. Well, gold's going down because one idiot today I'm watching, and he says gold's going down because the dollar's stronger and the interest rates are up. And I'm like, okay, negative, goodbye. This guy's an idiot, and off I go. I can't watch these guys for more than a minute. And as soon as I hear that, I'm done. I'm off. You're wasting my time because you don't know what you're talking about. So if you guys hear any of these stupid reasons for gold going down, other than it's comex, it's price fixed, and only our buddies Alistair and Egon and Andrew talk physical versus paper. That's why it's going down. It's the paper going down. And if you don't get that answer, if you get the dollar stronger against the yen and the interest rates are up, and normally that's a bad thing for gold when interest rates go up, you're like, what part of the inflation of this going to zero are you missing? Oh, well, the dollar will be it's still the reserve currency. That doesn't matter, because if you inflate it to zero, it's zero. It doesn't matter if it's the reserve currency, and it won't stay the reserve currency with the inflation. Who the fuck wants it? 100 countries now don't want it. Yeah, it's the reserve currency. For whom? For the U.S.? I mean, Jesus Christ. But the examples and the stories they give you, you want to throw up. It's got nothing to do with interest rates going up or the dollar stronger against the euro. Our piece of shit dollar is stronger than their piece of shit dollar. Are you fucking kidding me? This is the reason gold's going down? Boy, give me 10 minutes with these guys. I'll fucking nail them. That's just ridiculous. Anyway, I think I have had enough. Long day for me. So I will be on tomorrow afternoon. I might come on right after work, depending how tired, and then off to the coin store, off to the pool. Or I might, like it's a Saturday, or I might go to the coin store and pool at noon and be on at 4 o'clock or something. We'll see. I do want to go to the lake if I can walk. Sometimes my back's fine, and sometimes it just hurts. I notice when I'm sitting like this, it doesn't hurt at all. But when I start walking, it's a little twinge. Sometimes it feels like I've pulled my groin or problems with my hips. But I know it's the sciatic, and I do a lot of stretches in the pool, a lot of walking in the pool, but I don't know. So I've been getting out of the chair and sitting on the couch a little more during work, just to not sit in the chair for 8 hours, but we'll see. Anyway, good luck to you. Have a wonderful Memorial weekend. I will be on probably tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. For sure, Saturday and Sunday are normal, 11:30, 12 o'clock. Probably Monday too, and then Friday, Tomorrow will either be on noonish or the 4 o'clock game. It's right now we're flexing it. Bobby, you still there? What do you think of this Thursday night flex crap? Oh my God, how stupid is that? Anyway, have a good night, everybody. www.teaserking.com. I'm going to take Miami in 8 points just because they're getting 8 points. I think it's a good. I don't trust Boston. They needed game 2 and they needed game 3 and they didn't show up. So now it turns into they need it and they're favored and they're not going to show up. I think Miami off of a loss will be tough. All right, everybody. Have a good day, and I will see you tomorrow. www.teaserking.com. Run and buy silver at this price. It's a fucking joke. It's a $1,000 an ounce piece of silver for $27. What do you think? All right. How much physical do you own? To quote Andrew McGuire. All right. Take care, everybody.